Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Holly Randall Unfiltered. My guest today is one of the fastest rising stars in the industry. She's a former ICU nurse turned viral performer known for her breakout scene, A Bollywood Tale. She worked with top studios, picked up major award nominations like Best New Starlet and Favorite Newcomer, and somehow she still finds time to be a major part of New Orleans Mardi Gras. Welcome, Jasmine Sherni.
Hi, Holly.
Hi.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
A beautiful introduction. Wow. I was like, I'm glad I don't have to say anything because you really said it all. I was like, I don't know where to go from that.
Yeah, it's always like kind of nice to hear your whole career summed up in a couple of sentences. I know that like when that happens for me on the rare occasion I do podcast interviews on other shows, I'm always like, I've actually done a lot of things in my life.
All the things.
You know?
You're very well known, very well accomplished from
Oh, thanks. Oh, okay. Well, we can start the first part of the podcast talking about me and what you think about me and everything I've done.
We should, yes.
No. We are here for you. So let's talk about where you were raised in Louisiana as a mixed race kid, right?
Yes.
So what was growing up in the South like for you and your family?
Oof. I mean, for me, it was tough, honestly. I grew up in a small town. I was born in New Orleans. We lived like in the West Bank of New Orleans, which is, I do have to like kind of tell people and like follow up of New Orleans. Because one of my friends was like, Jasmine, you know, people think, they think you're from Gaza when you say that. And I was like, that makes sense. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, is that why people are always like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Do you have family there? And I was like, oh my God. So yes, the West Bank of New Orleans. We moved when I was little, but we kept our house there. But my parents were just like, they both wanted to live in a small country town. My mom wanted more land. And to be fair, we had a really big yard. You know, it took up like a quarter of the block. We lived on the corner. It just went halfway down one street, halfway down another. Lots of land. Did not realize how wealthy I was with space being little. But no one was like us, right? Like my mom was Jewish. My dad was Muslim. And no one looked like us. Everyone was either black or white. And it was hard. Identity was weird. I didn't really understand why we were different, how we were different. And I definitely didn't understand that no one else's family was different until I got to school. And I was like, oh, my mom explained it to us like we were cats, right? She was like, you know, when cats have kittens, they're different colors. Well, then you go to school and you realize that like all the other kittens and their parent cats are all the same color. So it didn't really make sense. And like, that's so weird because all the other cats and kittens look alike.
Yeah.
So it was tough. And I definitely didn't feel like I could be who I am today, right? I was always weird. I said that I was kind of like from the island of misfit toys and kind of always feeling other. And now that I'm in an industry where everyone, I think, is kind of, we're that island.
We are the island of misfit toys.
We are the island of misfit toys. And we're like, hi, wow, look at this. This is so nice. I have an island of weirdos around me now.
Welcome home.
Yes, so nice.
So were you like teased a lot as a kid?
I was teased a ton. I have two siblings, and my oldest sibling actually has a different father. So she was mixed, half black. And so I just lied to people, and I told them that I was half black and half white. I now realize how bad that was.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was just trying to fit in, and it made sense because nobody else was anything different. Until I was like maybe in fourth grade, and one of my teachers was trying to be very inclusive, and she's like, "Well, Jasmine, I know your father is Muslim. What did y'all do during the Christmas break?" And everyone like gasped, and they turned around like, "Oh, Jasmine's a Muslim." But not only was I a Muslim, I was a secret Muslim.
Ooh, those are the worst kind.
Those are the worst kind. So yeah, I got teased a lot, like every single day. And it wasn't great, but.
So what was religion like in your household? Because I mean, Jewish and Muslim, like, were you guys religious? Did you practice?
We were supposed to be being raised Muslim, but I mean, other than like a few basic rules and my dad telling me like I couldn't show my shoulders. There are generalizations, right? Like Muslim girls don't dance. Muslim girls don't wear this. They don't act this way. They don't do that. What will people say? Things like that. Like we didn't eat pork. We didn't, do certain things, but it wasn't like I was praying multiple times a day. We celebrated nearly every single holiday. You know, I think Christmas being just something that culturally here in America that you celebrate. Eventually we celebrated that. And then later in life, my mother was like, we're not doing Christmas anymore. We're celebrating Hanukkah. We're done with this. She even got rid of her Christmas tree. She got rid of the Christmas tree, all the ornaments. She was like, I'm done with this. It's Hanukkah. She would celebrate Purim. She went all out in the end, you know? So religion was, I don't know, it was kind of like a funny, weird thing. Again, that like not very similar to other households.
Yeah.
You know, that blend, that mashup.
And I'm sure, like, I mean, you know, as you so clearly said, in Louisiana, like, there is not a large Muslim population, I would assume.
Not in small town Louisiana.
Yeah.
There was in like the greater New Orleans area, and like, so for like Eid and things like that, we would sometimes go to those celebrations in the New Orleans area. But, you know, my dad wasn't a doctor. We didn't have money. I was mixed. We didn't have like, and again, like we didn't have money. We didn't have money for cultural clothes either, right? So me and my brother were very much the outsiders, and kids weren't nice to us, right? So it was kind of like yet another place where I didn't fit in. And as I got older, I would very similarly go out to events, and I still didn't see anyone who looked like me. And when I did see people who looked like me or came from my culture, I didn't feel like I could be like, yeah, like I'm going to the rave. You want to come with me?
Yeah.
You know?
It's like you didn't fit in there either.
Yes, very much so.
Right. So you married young.
Very young.
And divorced shortly after.
Yes.
Tell us about that, and what did you learn through that experience?
Wow. I think I learned so much. I feel like a lot of those lessons came afterwards. And one of the first lessons I kind of gifted myself with was giving myself autonomy over my own life and my own body again, because I felt like marrying young and having, you know, kind of someone right there being like, oh, well, this is what you do for when you're in love with someone. This is how you do this. And this is what pleasure is about. And not getting to learn that for myself, I really took that agency back. And in a very, like, it was very much in the front of my mind type of way. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to be monogamous anymore. I get to be a bad girl. You know, I'd go on dates and be like, hi, my name's Jasmine, and I'm non-monogamous, and I like kink. You know? But on the other end, I would go to classes, and I had a friend who would go to play parties, and she kind of got me plugged into like, hey, if you want to go do these things, here's where you can maybe get educated and learn how to do that safely. So it definitely started me on this journey of where I am now, of like kink, play parties, burlesque, sex work. So
right. Have this friend who's starting to introduce you to play parties. Like, what was your first experience dipping your toe into like a sexual world after, you know, I'm assuming grew up in a very conservative household?
I did. It was, I think we love to say the word empowering. And yes, it was that, but it felt very electrifying, right? It was very much like, oh my God, this is so exciting. Nervous, but that excited nervousness of like, ooh, well, maybe I won't do anything tonight, but look at where I am. Look at this door I just opened, or like this box, this like really sexy, hot Pandora's box. And wow, look, there's that guy that I've been crushing on for like 10 years. And oh my God, he's here. Can I have sex with a guy that I've been crushing on? I don't know, you know, stuff like that. And just kind of getting to finally feel like I can own it in a way.
Was a play party your first like experience in that world?
In like kink and BDSM? I think it was. Yeah, it was. I went to a play party. I got sick that night. I don't know. I think I got a stomach bug, and really quickly, like it wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm feeling bad. I was actually talking to that same guy that I mentioned, and we're waiting. Then we have like an icebreaker performance that starts, and we're talking, and all of a sudden I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I have to vomit. And I look at him and I'm like, where's the bathroom? And he's like, it's around the corner. And I just started like into my cup.
Oh no.
And I was so embarrassed.
Oh no.
So I just kind of sat outside by the pool. But it was nice. It was fun. And then, yeah.
So for people in our audience who've never been to a play party, which I think there's probably a lot.
That's fair.
And people who may not even, this might be the first time that they've heard of such a thing. Can you explain what a play party is and maybe what it looks like?
Okay. Yeah. I would say, one, every play party is going to be different. But in general, when you think of like a play party or a sex party, you're going to, again, they're different. So this one, you It has a theme. There was no outside clothes, no ordinary clothes. This one I think was like gods and goddesses and mythical creatures. They had a section with like a big royal like chair and a professional photographer to take your pictures or your solos or groups. And then they had, like I said, icebreaker performance of a variety of acts.
And these are like live sex acts?
Not all sex acts. Some of them were comedy. Some of them were sex. Some of them were burlesque that were stripping down.
Okay.
I think the comedy was really funny. I think that came on first, you know?
Yeah.
And then sometimes like BDSM performances, but it kind of just to warm everybody up to things and kind of, they also have a little bit of talk of like, hey, this is what we expect and how do you behave?
Because there's got to be like consent involved and boundaries.
Yes.
And everyone's got to be on the same page about that.
Very much so. And there were, I think, 3 levels to this play party. First floor was open play. There was a bar, a pool. Second floor were kind of more rooms and things like that you could go off into. And then the third floor was the dungeon where they had like a BDSM master, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds fun.
Yeah.
Sounds elaborate too.
A little pick your own adventure, you know?
I've actually never been to one, I don't think.
Is that something that you would like?
No.
There we go.
Like,
well, look at that. Look at that. You never have to.
No, I'm pretty boring. I'm in a monogamous relationship with my husband, and I clearly I have no problem with sex and like non-monogamy and all that kind of stuff. But it's funny though, when because I have ended up at swingers parties and stuff like that and other similar things. But when I don't have a camera in front of me, like separating me from the sex,
yes,
I actually I feel very weird.
That's super fair.
It feels super weird to me. It's like I need to have a purpose there. Like my purpose was always I'm directing, I'm shooting, I'm like trying to get that cum shot. But like if I'm just sitting there watching with my hands on my lip, I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself.
You know what? That's so fair. I mean, on camera and off camera sex for me feel very different. So in a sense, I get it.
Yeah. So let's talk about your move into on camera sex. So how did you end up in the porn industry?
So where do you want me to start in this journey? How did I move from nursing into sex work?
Because you were an ICU nurse
I was,
first, which is an intense job.
Yes.
My sister's an ICU nurse.
Really?
Yeah.
It is very intense.
And it is
intense. I used to come home and cry a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, that's not a sexy thing to say. Sorry, y'all.
That's okay. We don't have to be sexy. I mean, that's like, yeah, I mean, that's got to really like toughen you up.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
It's so interesting to me, too, that a lot of sex workers were either nurses before or become nurses later. And I think there's like a nurturing thing there.
I think there is.
You know, like a common thread.
I believe that very much so. Because I've definitely seen, both sides, people going into nursing and people coming out and into sex work. I never wanted to be a nurse, and I knew that going into nursing. Slightly longer story about me and my ex, but just to get into it, I knew that I was going to get into nursing and eventually want to go do something else. And for a while, I thought maybe I wanted to go and get my doctorate and become a nurse anesthesiologist. And when that didn't work out, I was like, well, I don't know what I want to do. But I'd always kind of had this calling. And while I was doing that, and exploring, my kinkier, more sexual side, a little, but I did food blogging. And then I, from that, got into lifestyle modeling and got connected with more creatives and had friends in burlesque and always kind of looked at that side. And I was like, wow, I really wish I could do a little more, but didn't feel like I could because of the ethics clause and the nursing practice.
Right. You thought that you figured you'd lose your job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or have at least some kind of fines or things that would come to me if anyone reported that.
Mm-hmm.
So when push finally came to shove and I was miserable enough, I was like, I got to get out of this. I left it all behind and I was like, well, what do I want to do? And I had a friend and she was like, well, you really like, being on Instagram and modeling. Why don't you try that? I've been watching you do this and you love it. I was like, well, that's not a real job. It's not
Oh, yes, it is. It is now.
Look at me. I didn't know anyone who actually did it. Right. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. I guess I could try it. So I started a modeling page on Instagram and that quickly took off. And I had people who were like, hey, can I see more of you? I had a few of them that are like, hey, I would sponsor you, whatever that meant. And so I was like, you know what? I think I can start an OnlyFans. Let me try that out. I'll dip my toe in that water. And that kind of really quickly started paying my bills. And not even to say that I was making, millions or anything crazy, but I think it's still impressive that I was able to pay my bills with it. And so it's like, hey, I enjoy this. And it was a lot of like genuine connections. Like I got to talk to people who are my fans. I would wake up and do like these really, they're so silly now, but like I do these videos where I would just like come in my little robe and slip and drink my coffee and I message people and be like, what is your intention for the day?
I love that.
My friend who was also in it was like, oh my God, my fans would never. They'd be like, shut up and show me your butthole. And I was like, I don't know. Sometimes I just read poetry to them.
But that's a great thing about platforms like OnlyFans. There's all different kinds of people. Like there's definitely guys on there, and I'm sure you have this experience now that like they really want to talk and they want to talk about their lives. They want to know what's going on in my life and they like care about those things.
Yes.
And then there are other guys who are like, just show me your butthole and shut up.
Just show me your butthole. And it's fair. And I have those people too, love them, but I do still actually read poetry to them.
Well, what can I say about a butthole? Just do a poem about buttholes.
You're right. I should write a poem about buttholes.
You should.
Holly, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're coming up with great stuff.
You're welcome. You've
been on it.
Just the ideas are just flowing.
You have been on it ever since I walked through this door, but I feel like you're always on it. Again,
I don't know about that.
Accolades to you.
Thank you. Summer safety information. And thank you, Blue Chew, for sponsoring the podcast.
But yeah, from there, I was with someone and we were kind of in the process of breaking up. And I remember being like, he was the only person I'd filmed with. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to have tapes? Like, and then I was like, wait a second, I'm a hot girl and I'm a
Lots
sex
of people want to have sex with me.
I was like, no, that was like crazy to me. I was like, whoa. People want to have sex with me. Hot guys want to have sex with me. Hot girls want to have sex with me. Hey, let me hold that phone. Would you like to work together? And so I got my first collab with someone. I came out to LA. I stayed with Sarah Arabic. And during that trip, I was kind of in this point of like, yes, I was doing this collab, but I also wasn't sure as I continued to blow up, do I want to go more mainstream modeling? Do I want to keep doing this? And I was like, you know what? I do, because I saw so many people being really authentic and living this life and loving it and being successful. And I was like, I could go this other route and I could be more mainstream, more clean, more sweet girl. But I am a slut. And I love being a slut. And like, I don't want to have to act like I'm not. Like what?
I love that.
Please.
I love that.
Please,
Well, sluts are welcome here.
Thank you.
We embrace you with open arms.
So, that's what I was doing. And so I was like, you know what? I am going to do this.
Yeah.
And I remember this is even to the point where I didn't even show nudity on Twitter. And when I finished my first collab, because I told him, I was like, hey, I think our advertising's a little different.
Yeah.
And I was leaving. He was like, okay, so I'll clip it up and I'll send you stuff for Twitter. And I was like, I don't show nudity on Twitter. And like his whole face was like, how do you promote?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember when he sent me a clip, I was just like, I started pacing. I paced around my house for like 20 minutes. And I was like, hey, it's not that I don't like the clip you sent me. It's just that I don't know because I've never done this. And he's like, you don't have to. And I was like, no, I want to. Mm-hmm. And I had then made the decision that if I was ever approached to do something mainstream, that I would do it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And I was like, I'm sure in like the next 5 years, someone might ask me.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it took a few months. But yeah, I on that same trip, I met Marvin Love, who is my friend, my agent, a director, over dinner with Sarah Arabic, who I was staying with. And we realized that we were going to be traveling through Europe together. Mm-hmm. And while we were in Europe, he asked me if I would ever consider shooting for Brazzers. And now I'm here.
Yeah, and you're shooting for Brazzers.
And I'm shooting for Brazzers.
So how was that first scene with Brazzers?
Amazing. It was obviously nerve-wracking, but it was amazing. And one of the reasons being that like I had someone who I was really close with there to direct me and hold my hand. Mm-hmm. Marvin, from the very beginning, was like, sat me down before, like as soon as he talked to me, because he was like, hey, this is what it would mean to mm-hmm. shoot for mainstream. This is what you can expect. This is what the good, the pros, the cons. And then working with a company like Brazzers, they have like a phone convo, they have like a video call, right? Where they're like, these are all the things and the steps and the processes before you get to set. These are the people you should expect on set. This is who you should go to on set if anything were to happen. Hey, if you don't have a talent liaison, like here's a number for you to call immediately because there has to be someone on set for you.
Yeah.
So I felt very safe. I ran through my lines. I did know that it was going to be like a Bollywood and cultural scene. That was something Marvin had asked me. And I was like, absolutely. Like this was stepping more into my cultural identity and feeling like I could belong in it, even though I was like this slutty, weird brown girl. And I say weird in the best way of like, yeah, I am from the islands of misfit toys. And maybe you don't see a lot of brown kids at the raves, but you know what? I bet at every major rave we're there.
Yeah.
All feeling alone. And no one gets to tell us how we get to do this. So as long as I do things that feel good and right to me, I'm the only person that I have to wake up to in the morning.
Were you worried at all about some sort of backlash from your culture for representing your culture in that way? Or were you like really proud to represent your culture in that? Like, was there any
give and take?
Yeah. Was there any like debate in your head about like, ooh?
I think anytime you do something like that, anytime I do something like that, there's always, like I said, there's like, hey, I expect there will be some, because people hold their culture so near and dear to them, right? And there have been some people, right? But they are very much the outliers. I will say that I was very much shocked, taken aback, in tears about how much of a like opening arms reception it was, and how many people outpoured to me, how many people became fans of mine on my sites to message me to say, hey, I've never seen someone who looked like me do this.
Yeah.
And I mean, men, women, couples, just being like, just tons of people who were like, I even had someone who's like, hey, I've never watched porn before, but so many of my friends told me about your scene and I just never thought I'd see someone like this.
Yeah.
And it felt so good. And it felt affirming, like, wow, this felt so good to shoot. It felt so right. And this is why.
Yeah. And so it's like that kid who felt different then, who felt like so a part of, has now used that. It's like become your superpower, right?
Yeah.
That like you can represent people like you and people love you for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know who Sunnyl Leone is?
Yes. I think we talked about this at AVN.
Yes, probably.
Yes. You said you shot her first thing,
I
right?
shot her very first glamour scene.
Yes.
Yeah. She had never had her hair and makeup done professionally before. She was just doing like, I forget what she was, just doing amateur stuff at home with her ex at the time. And I remember she was so excited. And we actually shot her in like that style.
You did?
Yes, we did.
I didn't see that. I looked up her stuff and I did not find that.
Yeah, it's on Suze.net.
Okay.
I'll find it and I'll send it to you. But we shot it in that style. And then I just remember she was so excited that she went home with like her hair and makeup and like did a bunch of content at home because she'd like never had her hair and makeup done.
Now I'm like, I want to look this up. I was like, how can I recreate this? People probably let me recreate this.
Well, I mean, I look back at it now and it was like, that was still so early in my photography career. I mean, I look at it now and I'm like, oh God, this is awful. Like the cropping and the posing, like I still hadn't mastered my craft, but yeah, I mean, and now she does
Bollywood now, right? She does Bollywood now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And people talk about crossover porn stars all the time, but they don't ever think about her. And they're like, oh, well, Jenna Jameson, oh, Sasha Grey. And I'm like, the crossover porn star is Sunnyl Leone.
Yeah.
She is one of the most famous people in India.
I was like, that's kind of crazy because when I think of crossover, she's like the one that comes to my mind. But maybe it's because so many people talk to me about her.
Yes. It's because you're in that, that's your culture.
Yes.
But like so many people, Western, they don't even know who she is. And I'm like, she is the example. And not to mention the fact that she also won over the hearts, of a culture that's not exactly like embracing, porn and sexuality, and
it's not.
And she was able to like break that barrier and get through and she became famous because she did like the Indian version of Real World.
Oh.
Or Big Brother. I think it was Big Brother.
Okay, so she did reality TV.
Yes. And then people saw her on that And then they actually got to know her because she's a really sweet girl. And then they like...
Kind of crazy how people think we're going to be mean or something.
Yeah.
Do they think we're going to bite?
I know. They think like you're
pussies
just going
bite.
to... Yeah. And yeah. And then her career just like took off from there. And it's like, it's crazy because at the beginning it was definitely like, oh, she was a porn star. Oh, but now I feel like she's just like,
she was,
she's just like a Bollywood star. And like her past doesn't really like come up as much. I mean, it seemed like from afar. I haven't talked to her in a while, but
that's super fair. Way before I ever considered doing sex work, while I was still doing nursing, I actually sent in an audition tape to, do you know, like Mindy Kaling? She did the TV show on Netflix, Never Have I Ever.
Yes.
I actually sent in, because she put out a big casting call on like social media about it, like open. And then like there's an interview where she's like, oh my God, I would never do that again. I got so many hits. Because she was like, okay, who's South Asian and wants to do these parts?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, me.
Yeah.
Me. And I think back to that. I'm like, I wonder if Mindy Kaling would ever cast me for anything now, or would she be like, sorry, I can't do that. You're important.
Yeah. I don't know though. I mean, comedy and porn are, intersect quite a bit.
Mindy Kaling, hit me up.
So let's get a little bit more into detail with your first scene for Brazzers. So tell me a little bit about how much control you had over the scene. Did you have a lot of input in the wardrobe? Like how, and who did you perform with? I don't even know.
Those are all really good questions. I'll start kind of backwards. My scene partner was Chris Diamond, which was absolutely insane. I knew that he was very well endowed. But I didn't realize like how well endowed until he got there. And I remember like kissing him before the scene, and like he put my hand on it. I was just like, oh my God.
Were you worried?
I was very worried. I genuinely looked at him and I was like, I don't know if that's going to fit. I was like, I don't think that's going to go in there. And he's like, it'll go. It's fine.
Don't worry, babe. I got you.
Yeah,
I got
he's
this.
like, I've done this a few times. I was like, I don't know. And I remember after we filmed like our first clip, like everyone on the side was like, are you okay? Like, hey girl, you need to just call 911. Seems like you just got murdered. So that's who my scene partner was. But as far as how much control I had over the scene, I mean, I felt like it was very much a collaborative process. I got the script, anything that there were some small tweaks that I wanted to make. I had already given them kind of like my boundaries. And I don't think when it's Brazzers, I don't feel like I have to worry about them going too far around my set of boundaries.
No, they're very good about that.
Yeah, no, they're amazing.
Yeah.
So even the small tweaks, and honestly, any script that I've gotten from them, if I'm like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with this, like they're like, hey, we can change it however you want to make you feel comfortable. So as far as the storyline went, I was fine with it. When it came down to wardrobe, I think he had gotten a different sari, but I don't know if you've ever ordered a sari, or wait, have you?
I have not.
Oh, okay. So when you get a sari, like a traditional sari, you're just looking at kind of like 9 feet of fabric.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the blouses come unstitched. And at that time, I didn't know how to drape. Like I didn't know how to pleat and fold, which I do now. I learned for that AVN. But like I didn't know how to do that. We didn't have anyone to sew the thing together. So the day before we went, I got my henna done, and no, it had to be before the henna because there was no way I went shopping with henna on my hands. But we went to a local spot here in LA, and we picked out the wardrobe together. So wardrobe, jewelry, all got chosen with and by me.
That's awesome.
So it was really amazing, and kind of like, okay, this is how and the lady in the shop was like, okay, this is how you're going to put the dupatta or the scarf on, So it was very much like, hey, are you comfortable? Is this okay? Everyone on set was very respectful. So it was a really beautiful process in that way.
Yeah. So the scene, I mean, performed incredibly well.
It did.
And was that a surprise to you?
I think, especially since it was my first time, right? When we wrapped, I remember the cameraman, Cody J, looks at me and that was amazing. It's going to look so good. And then everyone was so like, oh my God, amazing. Da, 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 da. And in my mind, I was like, what if they're just lying to me? Right? Like, what if they're only saying this because I'm Marvin's friend? You know?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but then, as one does after you leave, like, it's kind of just quiet. And I was like, oh God, In my mind, they were never going to put it out. It was never going to see the light of day. I was like, that's just going to be put in a closet somewhere. And it was horrible and bad. And I'll never work again. And then I got a call from Marvin. And he was like, actually a FaceTime from Marvin even. And he was basically in tears. And I was like, what happened? What did I do? I did something wrong. And he's like, they love it. He's like, they absolutely love it. Jasmine, you did so well. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, they're gonna, he's like, they were like, hey, we think this is gonna do numbers. And when it came out, it went off way harder than I ever thought it would. And I got so much more attention. It was just insane.
Yeah.
In a really, really good way.
Did your OnlyFans just like explode after that?
God, yes.
Yeah.
I was so overwhelmed. I remember, so when I first started doing content, I was on my phone so much that I developed not carpal tunnel, but it's the other tunnel. It goes through here. Anyway,
Yeah.
And then, so it was happening again, like just trying to respond to everyone's tweets and Instagram and messages on my OnlyFans. And I was like, I need help. So I had to go through and turn off like all my notifications and step away from it for a little while because I was just like, wow, this is a lot. And I'm so blessed, but wow, I can't keep up.
All at once like that.
All at once.
So as a brown performer in the industry, do you feel like you're fetishized at all?
I feel like if you're anything that's not seen as culturally normal in the West, you will unfortunately land yourself in a fetish category, whether you want to or not. So I have to realize that no matter what I do, people will fetishize me. And to what extent what do I do within that feels okay? Sorry. To me, and how do I deal with that, right? I'm like, hey, if I put on a sorry and you fetishize me, but what I'm actually doing is like a very normal and appropriate thing and you want to twist it to something else, that's you. You know, I have nothing to do with whatever someone's mind makes up with that.
And it's like you can go either way, right? You could be representing like your culture and your people. Like you said, like when that scene came out, you had so many people reach out to you and say, I've never seen anyone like me in porn and that kind of thing. So I guess you could look at it either way. But do you feel like, I'm assuming, like, have you felt that all the scenes that you have done have been like respectful in that way? I do. And I think that's what, for me, when it brings up like fetishization, I'm like, people can take this and they can spin it any way they want. Yeah.
I've seen trust me, I've seen the people on Reddit. I have seen the captions they put on my porn.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, who am I to yuck someone's yum?
Yeah.
Other than to say it's my image.
Right.
But I mean, like that, people are going to do that. But if nothing else, I always try to remind people like, I am not a monolith. I am not like, hey, I'm not the only, brown woman doing this. I wasn't the first brown woman doing this. I'm not the only one doing it now. I will hopefully not be one of the last, right? And it's kind of the whole kind of purpose and fire behind me is that there isn't one way to be brown. There isn't one way to be, different or weird or a sex worker or to express yourself in these many beautiful ways. Like, I get to do this and it's really great. And if my light helps you feel not alone, that's all I really want.
Actually, how long have you been in the, like, I guess it depends on what one considers the porn industry, whether being a content creator, OnlyFans girl is that, or you have to do professional scenes. So let's just say, like, how long have you been doing professional scenes for?
Okay, so, my anniversary is about to come up.
Ooh.
Yeah, I shot
your porniversary?
It is, yes. I shot a Bollywood Tale in August 27 of 2023.
Oh, wow.
So it's really soon.
Yeah.
So almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
My second year. I know. I'm like, I still feel like a baby.
How has your experience been? And is it any different than what you expected?
I think my experience, I feel completely blessed. I know that I'm not the only person to have a really big and beautiful start and go viral at the beginning of their career, but I also know that is not a very common thread, right? So I feel like stepping into the adult entertainment industry has also come with immediate gratification, immediate praise, award nominations, and being told, wow, you're doing really great. I think it would probably suck if I fell flat on my face and never did anything great again.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, it's been really wonderful. It has allowed me to really blossom and take care of my creative garden. And I've never felt more creative or more on fire, like passion-wise about what I've been doing. I feel like when I go to work and I go to set and I create content, yes, I'm tired because it takes energy, but I feel alive. I feel emboldened. I feel like I want to do more, and more creativity comes back to me from pouring into this cup. Like my well is never empty.
Do you have any interest in moving beyond just performing, like any behind the scenes writing, directing, anything like that?
I do. I enjoy writing. I want to kind of pick up scripts more. I've been playing with that more on my own time a little more, and directing as well. I have taken more of a stance for some of my own sites of like writing and directing things. Like when I was nominated for the Pornhub Awards, when I realized I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it because like I have these last minute things. I looked at one of my friends who does videography, and I was like, look, I came up with because I was like, the theme is it was Western, right? And so I was like, what outfits do I have? And so I had 2 outfits, and then I was like, what locations in New Orleans can I film at? And then I was like, oh, I'll pick this location. I was like, okay, what can I do with this outfit in this location? So I came up with this backstory that I was like a bayou bounty hunter, chasing down a pleasure criminal. And that's why I couldn't make it to the awards, Yeah. And I was just like, damn, I did that. And it feels good. But there are some things that have come to me that I'm like, this is really good. I actually don't think that's meant for me though. And I think that's kind of like that itch that's like, I think there's something down the line.
It's not uncommon, obviously, for performers to move to the other side of the camera. And I think it makes so much sense because you're the only people that know what it's like to be a performer.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes that disconnect between the director and the performer is problematic because you really this is a stupid and weak example, but I hosted a Playboy TV show for 3 seasons. And I had never spent like that much time in front of the camera. And having to be on, like when you're not feeling on, when you're tired, when you've had a bad day, you got bad news. Like I never comprehended how much mental energy that took. Like I really didn't. And I remember there was actually one time we would do like confessionals after each episode. And I broke down and started crying.
I was going to say, I imagine so. And so much.
Yeah. And I couldn't stop crying. And it was like something triggered in me. And I was like, and they had to give me an hour to like calm down. And I remember being so mad because I think about like the director self who would have been like, dude, this fucking bitch, like Jesus Christ, like it's late. We just want to wrap up. I mean, like I wouldn't have said that, but there would have been a part of me
about it. As a director, you're like,
there would have been a part of me been like, oh, really? Like get it together. We just only have like 5 more minutes to film.
Oh my God. No, but it is. And when I see directors who are also in front of the camera that day, I'm like, how do you juggle that? Because
that's also crazy.
Especially when you have to be in front of the camera, not only acting, but performing.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's wild because a part of you as a director, not to say you have to be the mean guy, right? Because like you have an AD, you have other people who are mean, but like you're not everyone's best friend.
Yeah.
Right? You can't be. There has to be, even if you're friendly, there has to be that delineation because you are the director.
Yeah.
And everyone needs to understand that. And I'm like, that is something I don't know if I would want to do.
Yeah.
to have to play both roles. I would need someone who co-directs or something.
Yeah. Now, what are you most excited about in your career now? Are there any like firsts that you've just recently done or any firsts coming in your future?
Oh, yes. I actually just filmed my first DVP. I can say that all the way, right?
You can. Can you explain that to people who don't know what that is?
So if you don't know what a DVP is, because I didn't know what this was a year ago, I definitely didn't know, is double vaginal penetration. So that means 2 penises in the one hole. And I don't have another, so 2. I don't know why I used 2 different ones, but 2 in one. So that was, it was with Sean Alf and Robbie Apples, and I was...
I just had Sean on literally last week.
Oh my God, he's such a gem.
Yeah.
He's such a gem. I had a great time with both of them, but I had put out a tweet, if you will, and I was like, who will actually film a boy girl with me? Because I was like, I have none for my own sites. And they responded, and then they mentioned, they were like, hey, if you're into this. And I was like, I don't know if I am. I was like, I don't even have like a boy, girl. And I was like, you know what? Like, if I ever want to collab with Girthmaster, I gotta get ready. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give.
God, I mean, Girthmaster is so huge. Like, are Robbie and Sean's dicks together even as wide as Girth's? I don't know.
I dare say they are.
Maybe we need to do a measuring contest.
Because you have to say, like, it's not just this plus this is this, and then there's space around it, right?
Yeah.
So
because the bodies,
yeah, because I mean, they don't just meld and become one.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. So there's a little bit of like, yeah,
there is. So
it's at least a V, a little bit of opening at the bottom.
It took my brain like a moment to just process that, and my vagina a moment to because I was like, what's going on? What is that? What is that? What does that feel like? It's not like one big dick going in.
Yeah,
and that is something that was very surprising to me. But once. And I remember being like, because we had paused for stills, and I was like, my brain is not, it's very different. He goes, and I think it was Sean who was like, yeah, he's like, your tone changed completely as soon as we started. Like, you were just like, whoa, wait a second. And then after about 3 to 5 minutes in, I was like, okay, all right, this is it. It was amazing.
Do they alternate or do they go at the same time?
Both. A
Is
little bit of both.
Harder than which one's best?
I think it's easier if one's more stationary. So if one is more stationary and only one is
the
moving,
other one,
versus both of them trying to move.
That's kind of like how a DP works better too. One's like the anchor.
Yeah, you have to. And I will say, every time I would come, or almost every time I would come in, like it'd push one of them out. Because it was just like, hey, there's not enough space in here, guys.
Yeah.
One of y'all got to get out of here while we clinch. Sorry.
So where can people find that scene?
They can find it on my OnlyFans, my mini vids. Honestly, if you go to JasmineSherni.com or allbadbitchesgotoheaven.com, you can find all my links.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so this is a personal content scene. This is not something that you're going to see at a studio.
Hopefully someday. You know what? I should put it out there. I should put a tweet out there telling studios I'm ready for that.
Okay.
Oh God, I bet I'll get even bigger ones though.
Yeah, they're going to put you with like Isaiah Maxwell and like Kieran Lee or something.
Kieran Lee is leaving.
Oh, is he?
No.
Oh, yeah. I haven't talked to him in so long.
Okay. Yeah, he's moving back across the pond.
I know that
not the industry.
I know that he's been trying to.
I know
for like the last few years.
That's what I heard he is.
Yeah.
From him
going back to Derby.
He is, but
I don't blame him. I'm holding tight onto my British passport right now, and I'm like,
are you British?
My mom's British, yeah, so I have dual citizenship.
Well, I was like, wait a second, how did I not know that?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So
hold on to your passport.
I am. I'm just like, don't lose this thing, because who knows?
I actually, I travel. Like right now, I have my passport in my bag just in case right now.
Yeah.
Just in case at any moment.
Any moment. Always be ready.
Also in case I need papers.
Yeah. So let's talk about Mardi Gras.
Oh my God, Mardi Gras.
Because you're very involved in that. So I have to say, I have never been to New Orleans, and it's like the top of my list. It's so down. It's so like up my alley. And even my husband's like, you have to go. You would love it. And I've never been.
Please come to Mardi Gras.
So
please come with me to Mardi Gras.
I don't know. Mardi Gras, that's a lot.
Well, I mean, everything's a lot. You also you do AVN. That's a lot.
Is it the same as AVN? No. It's worse than AVN. Oh, come on, there's no way.
But I think it's like it's the similar things. You're on, you're going, you know. I think of that. But also, to be fair, maybe this next year isn't the year because I think you have AVN. Mardi Gras changes. I don't know if you know this, if you don't know Mardi Gras. So Mardi Gras it always starts on the same date. It starts on January 6th, which is All Kings Day. That is by, the Julian calendar. Am I saying that right? The Julian calendar?
Yes.
Okay. And then...
Named after Julius Caesar.
Yes, thank you. But Mardi Gras Day is the day before Ash Wednesday. And Ash Wednesday moves around because it is based off the lunar calendar. Because Easter is based off the lunar calendar.
Right.
40 days before Easter.
Right.
So then that changes every year. So it's somewhere between early Mardi Gras, early February, which will be in 2026. And then later Mardi Gras would be like March. I think like mid-March, early March would be like the latest.
Okay.
But so this next Mardi Gras season is going to be super packed. It's right after AVN, and it's going to really fucking suck for me.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that's... Okay, so tell me about... Because you, like, build floats and you do all
do.
kinds of stuff, right? You don't just go.
No. I mean, you can. You
Yeah.
definitely can. So I'm in 2 Mardi Gras crews, and people don't exactly understand what crews are.
Crews
so.
spelled with a K.
With a K. Yes.
Krewes.
This is true. That is how you do it. Crews, when you say like, what is a crew? You think of like the big parades. Those are what are called mega crews, right? Like, so you have a big crew that parades. And within that, you have your crews that compose that other crew, right? And so I'm in like my own crew that goes to different parades.
Okay.
I started out first with a crew that always has like a different dystopian paradise theme every year. That is a marching crew. That's the one I build the float with. We paper mache. We come up with our theme. Last year was, oh my God, I didn't march with them last year. Oh, it was hell. It was hell. Hell's disco. So we made a train. The train had confetti and like smoke that came out of it. And we put dancers up top and then we pull it because we're not in any like big crews that you can have like a motorized thing in. So it has to be like pulled by hand, which also means we don't really have breaks. So we do have to let people know when we go through like on Mardi Gras Day, we're rolling through tight spaces and there's a big crowd. We're like, it's your job if you're one of the people in the front to be like, big float, no brakes. I need y'all to move because we got a big float with no brakes.
Wow. How many people have to pull the float? Do they like trade off? Because that sounds exhausting.
We do, yeah. So you have 2 people in the back pushing, and then you have at least 2 people in the front who have ropes, if not like 4 people, depending. Yeah. And then you have your dancers, and there are people who swap out who's dancing up top.
You guys don't go down hills, I assume. Is it all flat?
New Orleans is extremely fucking flat.
Okay. I just suddenly was thinking like
horrible potholes. Now that we do have to look out for.
Ooh.
There are times we're like, all right, everybody, we got a big pothole coming up. And so then we have to have more people go through and push and,
right.
But it's not a hill.
Did you ever get like stuck and then like the float behind you like hits you and then you have like a float pile up?
No, I don't think we've had that. There was one time the float tipped over and fell. I wasn't there. I fell off of the float one year dancing. I put both of my feet on like the bar, which I had told someone like maybe a few weeks later. I was like, how do you do that? I could not. I was like, I don't think I'd always be scared. I always keep one leg on. She's like, no, just make sure you have good grippy shoes. Well, then like the float rocks and there are other dancers like started rocking it without telling me. And by the time you're rocking like this, I was like, I can't jump down. I'm going to hit my face. So I was like, okay, well, I'll counterbalance. And then they rocked real hard the other way and I just go bloop,
oh my God.
Right onto the ground. I mean, but it's also like, it's high up. It's like higher than like a U-Haul truck. Like in the video, there's actually a U-Haul truck that's next to the float. And like, I'm up here and the U-Haul truck is down here.
Oh my God. Were you like really seriously hurt?
Thankfully, there were 2 people on the ground that kind of broke my fall. I literally like, I'm falling.
Like landed on 2 people.
I hit one guy and the other one like made eye contact with me. And he was like, and I was like, thank God he was there.
Wow.
When I up this knee, like I had a huge gash here. This fingernail was ripped off.
Oof.
And I had like, you can still kind of see it right here. I had this big, like, and you know what I also learned? There aren't a lot of armpit wounds in the world.
That's not a common thing.
Not a common place for people to have wounds. But let me tell you, it sucked because like you couldn't, like I just had to keep my arm like this all the time.
Ooh.
And I couldn't make any content.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do anything. So I would sit on TikTok for like hours on live in like my little content room, just like drinking tea and talking to people on TikTok.
Yeah.
And they'd just be like, what happened to your knee? Like, what happened to you? And I'm like, guys, I fell off a float. Like every like 15 minutes, I'd have to be like, oh, okay, I have to kick everyone. I fell off a float. Okay, leave me alone. The video's on my page. Go look at it.
Ooh. Yikes. That does not sound fun.
It is not.
Any big plans for the rest of the year?
Ooh. What is for the rest of the year? I think I mentioned this before. Like I always have to look at my calendar.
Yeah.
I just got finished shooting a Dorsal feature.
Okay.
That was my big thing that was coming up.
So that you've shot it and it's coming up because it hasn't been released. So
yes.
that's something that's coming up.
Yes. So Dorsal feature, the DVP is coming up. I'm starting a podcast of my own. It's little, it's silly. It's literally just to let people, it's to like answer frequently asked questions, which I imagine at some point it will then go to other people's frequently asked questions and having guests of like, hey, hey, I'm glad you asked that. Like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Type thing. So that's coming. Which to say is also that I have started my OnlyFans TV.
OFTV channel.
Yes,
Okay.
because this goes on OnlyFans TV as well, right?
This will go on the channel.
That is one of the
and
reasons.
And if they feature you, boy, oh boy.
Yes.
Traffic's good.
That's what I hear. So yeah, I've been trying to plan out with my creative director of like what my next big videos are going to be. So fingers crossed on that. So more creativity, more acting, maybe a collab with Girthmaster. Girth, are you listening?
He's got to fix his wrist has got to heal first.
This is true. But I was a nurse. It's fine.
Oh, that's true.
So this is a perfect
oh my God, you
scene.
guys could do
this is the perfect scene. I've been waiting 2 years for this.
There we go. Love it. Love it.
Yes.
Well, Jasmine, thank you so much for coming on. We're going to do an extra bonus Q&A for my Patreon members and the questions that they've sent. So if you're a member of Patreon, you will see that. But in the meantime, Jasmine, can you let everyone know where they can find you online?
Hi. If you want to go and see all of my links, you can go to allbadbitchesgotoheaven.com and find me there.
Got a great URL. Love it. You can go to hollylinks.com to find all of my links. But of course, subscribe to my Patreon to support this show, watch these live streamed, and get access to the bonus Q&A and so much more. That's patreon.com/HollyRandallUnfiltered. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.